Good Monday evening again, folks. Yep, doesn't it's just been so damn long since I've been live. It seems like about 2 hours ago. And just seeing a message here. We may have a slight technical difficulty going on. Because Kevin, if you're watching me right now, there's a problem because it says I'm there, but you're not here. Because I'm looking at our screen and I don't see you. So I sent you the link. So if you do see the link, go ahead and just hit where it says join in.
And you'll pop on.
Yes, because I don't see on our box there. And just well, I don't want to verify the email over the screen, but what we'll do is just go ahead and just send him what we sent just to make sure it hasn't changed. But if it's there, he already got it. And what you guys are hearing, this babble coming from me, it's about our very special guest. It's so special, I'm not going to tell you who it is. And that is Kevin Herbert, who we are in the process of trying to get on right now. Sending the link over to him. OG's on the job. She's the master IT person. That's like saying I am. Yeah. But we're just trying to get Kevin on here live now. So we're gonna keep on until we get him on here. I see you just saw it. So just making sure that you did get the link. And as it says, I'm there. So OG's sending you a message right now. So just go ahead and answer OG. And while we're waiting, let's see.
Yeah, that's why I sent him that on September 18th also. So he knows.
Sean Herbert. Why isn't it not showing? Let's set up your studio. Entering the studio will not automatically start. No, it is through, you did go through my link that I sent you, right? Through StreamYard. Because this here. Mm-hmm. It looks like it. Oh, there you are.
There he is.
All right, OG.
Okay.
Well, now we're going to let's pop Kevin on here. There you are.
There he is.
All I had to do was just hit the link to enter the studio, not sit where I was. Never mind.
Oh, it said you. Let me guess. It said you are currently backstage.
Exactly.
I'm looking at it. I go, oh man. I go, Kevin, he's there, man. That's right. And then as I'm talking, I was like, there he is. Kevin, what's going on, man?
Not too much. How about yourself?
Oh man, just having a heck of a day, man. But let me just get over here because I want to share this out. It's through our different, and of course, send it and share it to wherever you want. Of course,
you're doing it right now.
So you go ahead and do that, and I'm going to get this out there. But just want to definitely start off by, definitely appreciate you taking some time to come back on with us, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on. I'm glad you guys reached out. It's came at a perfect time, and I had some stuff going on with my dad passing away, but this is like a perfect opportunity just to kind of get out of that mindset, get back in the recovery, and dig back in.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for your loss, man. I lost my dad, and any loss is just terrible. So from all of us, man, definitely our condolences, man. Love you. We're here for you. And, it is a good time to have you because as we all know with what we deal with, man, it doesn't take much to get that little shove to make one wrong decision. And then to kind of, use that as an excuse. So, I'm glad you're here with us. And also, man, I love your posts, especially all the gym ones, but more than that, the hockey ones. Freaking, how old is your son?
He's 5. So the whole story behind that is, before he went out just to start this league, he didn't really skate much because we didn't have much ice time out here to even have opportunity to. So I wanted to wait until he got the gear from the league that he was playing with. Yeah, because it's all sponsored the Minnesota Wild. It was a very low entry fee, and they gave him full gear, skates, the helmet, the whole 9 yards. So I'm like, yeah. So I was planning on just working with him a little bit during the off season, and then prepping to get ready to go ahead and skate during this league. Well, we got the stuff 6 days before the whole opportunity to get on the ice, and I'm like, well, this isn't going to work out well. Well, we figured we're going to be 20 seconds on the ice, and he was going to be off. No, he just went out there and just went away.
Oh man, I saw those pictures, and that hockey, it was just my passion. I started playing, did mites, and a lot of them start mini mites, these little shits out there, and then through squirt, pee-wee, band, a midget, high school, college, all the way up, man. I played it all, and just some of the things besides playing was just the camaraderie with my teammates, man, being in that locker room. So you could just see how happy you both are.
Yeah, because it brings me back to when I skated too. It's I've been out of it for a while myself, and the locker room, you're with the guys, and you're able to shoot the shit and do that. I have the whole brotherhood, and the funny thing is, it really brought in some of my recovery, right? So when I got on the skates the first time, before we even had this practice, I'm like, it's not going to work out. I was upset and things like that. I'm like, Steph was like, well, you got to figure out the perspective in the situation. I'm like, you're right. So, yeah, he's not able to get on the ice, and I'm upset, whatever, but he's only 5. I was thinking that I got out there right away. I started skating myself with no problem. It's it doesn't work out that way. We never start out that way. It takes work. It takes a lot of patience. So
a lot.
And
man, I don't know how when you started out, but I started out. You always have the ones who are the best on the team, the worst on it. I was not only the worst on the team, I was probably the worst in the entire league.
Did you want to save all this stuff for the show?
What?
Are we live?
We've been live. We've been live since the whole live intro started.
See, I missed that myself. I was trying to enter.
Oh, yeah, there we are. Okay.
Yeah, OG's on a job, man. She's in charge of all that organizational stuff.
It's been a long day.
But no, man, I was the worst, like I said, in the league. I mean, you talk about a penguin. That was me. I didn't skate. I walked on my ankles, and then I just would fall over. And then they'd stand me up, and they'd kind of push me, and I just wiggle my hips until I stopped moving with momentum. I just fall over again. But I loved it so much, I didn't care. Everyone was laughing at me, including me. But man, what a bonding experience that he's in for. But not only you, man, because growing up how we did. But remember our crazy ass, our hockey mom and dads.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. And hockey moms, they're the worst. They're insane. My mom was there.
They're fighting in the stands. They're throwing it. It's crazy to see nowadays. It's I don't remember that being like that when I was a kid. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was just as bad as what it is today. Well, because everyone's so protective now. It's I even catch myself being a little protective. I see a kid's coming over and pushes him. I'm like, what the fuck? Watch your kid, man.
Just watch my kid. And they're like, it's all hockey.
It is. It's just little 5-year-olds, they can't stop. But the great thing of it, my house manager was telling me is that, Kevin, 3 years ago, you were basically sitting on this couch crying because you thought you weren't going to have this opportunity. I'm like, man, yeah, that's true. I was definitely in a bad spot where I was, moving into this house, basically trying to figure out how I'm going to find my path to get in this recovery thing back then. And it never worked in the past, but I sat there because I lost the wife, lost the house, sitting in the back seat of my Jeep. The sober house was my last resort. It was the third one I went to, but I went there sober. The other 2, I didn't go sober. But, I basically, it's it brought in a lot of the circle of, the way life really changed because I put my work and effort into my recovery to actually have these opportunities. And there I am. I'm there watching them skate, helping them and dressing them up in the locker room and, kind of living my life through him now. I'm excited for him, but I still think he's going to be a football or baseball player, but, I at least get this opportunity now.
You know what? That's the thing too, is you just don't know. Cause I had, growing up, I had my uncle who was pretty much my influence. That's who I lived with. And he was baseball, hockey, but mainly hockey. And that was it for me. Right now, before we get going here, our correspondent, Donald Blow, has a question for you. Where's Fast Life Recovery at?
That's basically just my Instagram platform. I started that as just showing my hope to alumni through the treatment I went to, which is out in Malibu. And it was my way of, we do alumni meetings on Friday nights, and it's closed now, but we did alumni meetings on Friday nights, and I'd post my posts, and they said that they like to show alumni at times. Well, yeah, it just started from there, and it basically progressed into what it is now, and it's just spreading the hope and being a resource for people I'm still connected with in California and out in Maryland, and it's, if I can give an option here in the state of Minnesota, I got an option here as well. So it turned out to be like a blessing because it now more or less is my own accountability. If I don't post for a day or two, people start, "Hey, what's up? How's it going? You doing okay?" And
isn't that cool?
It's happened multiple times.
Yeah, that's I've had people that have said exactly what you said, that they go, I never thought that I would have people either worried about me that something was wrong or something like in a positive way, that they missed my positive posts and all that stuff. So but before even that, definitely saw a post here that want to give you a shout out, man. I saw this big old dude, man, accepting something very meaningful a little bit back, and that was a 3-year coin.
Yeah.
So that was you, and that's
Appreciate it.
congratulations, man. So why don't you give us walk us through that?
So, the situation behind that is, that's my home group. When I was in Malibu, my 5th treatment, I basically sat in this detox room. They had a TV, YouTube, and I threw it on there. And, one of my drunken nights, I must have been cruising through YouTube and seeing that this Serenity Village in Minnesota, and I started watching it. Well, it was saved onto my playlist, and I clicked into it while I was in the detox room. And I said, if I ever make it out of California and back home, and this whole situation is just crazy to me, I didn't even think I'd ever be going to California for a treatment, because I thought I was going to Hazelden in Minnesota at the time. And then the next morning, I'm getting a call and say, "Hey, you got an airfare ticket? Come out to California. What's going on? Where are you? You at the airport yet?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't know this is actually a real thing."
Wow,
but,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I went out there to California, and I'm sitting on this detox bed, still thinking I'm going to be trafficked at some port. There's sent overseas, or I don't think this is real. And no, it's a real treatment, and it helped me out quite a bit. But that meeting, I said to myself, if I'm going to go to a meeting when I get back home, that's the meeting I want to go to. So when I got back home, I had a short little relapse, got in the sober house. And that Tuesday was the next week. I went right to that meeting, and I started going to those. And that's kind of where I started building my foundation off of, is at that Serenity Village. The pastor's, a recovering addict himself. It's a meeting of 300 people. It does a lot of impact for the community out here in Minnesota. And, my sober day was for July, but my dad passed away, and personally came up to me and said, it's August, it's mid-August. And I made it to the meeting. He called me up and he said, "Let's get your coin." And I was telling my buddy Lance, he's basically part of my foundation. He's a guy I look up to. He's a good pal of mine. And, I was telling him, probably the day before, I believe, I was like, I'm kind of bummed out I didn't get my coin. And he's like, "Well, there's plenty of other places you can go to. Read your 417, it's acceptance." That's always his number one thing. Is read 417. It's all about acceptance. He's got taken. Like, all right, it's next year. It's something to plan for next year. But he called me up at the Tuesday. He's like, "Just end of the month, come get your coin. I'm like, man, that's wild how it all worked out. So I got my coin in August, and 3 years. It's I couldn't make it 30 minutes outside of a treatment facility. It's humbling, but
Wow.
a lot of things have happened that I've focused my recovery on. It's like, I used to focus on the storms, and the storms were basically reasons to drink, right? Well, now I got to change that perspective and realize that I got to focus on myself and not the storm. I love that saying. It's you can't focus on that storm. It's there to strengthen you. Yeah, but you got to focus on yourself at the end of the day.
Man, I like that. That's good, man.
Yeah.
And it's so true because it's easy to do too. It's easy, all the chaos and the drama and all that shit. It's easy to just focus on that stuff. And but then when it comes to like I've heard people say, it's not selfish to put yourself first. In a situation like this, it's mandatory. We need to put ourselves first. But I tell you what, man, that when you got that was a lot of people. That was a packed house, man. How many people were there when you made that speech?
It was a full room, so you're probably looking at 250 to 300. So it was a lot of people there. It's crazy because I'm not the person that gets up in front of people.
I was just going to ask you that.
I'm not the best talker. The funny thing is, like, recovery, it's the thing that helps me most is basically just getting up in front of people, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I hate that term, but it's what you got to do, and it works. Because at the end of the day, I feel so much better. Because 300 people, if I touch at least one person, it's all that matters. All that matters.
That is so cool, man. And well, I tell you what, for someone who doesn't feel comfortable, you did great. And I get it though, because people will say that shit too, ask questions when I'm doing shows about doing podcasts and because everything I do is live. And except for when I go to New York to our studio, then it's all recorded. And our producer Matt Cronin does that. And then of course doing live events. I've just like you, man. I never did that in the past. The only thing I did live in front of people was drink and do drugs. The more people, I didn't care then, man, because it was just a bunch of us doing that. And you always hear that. If someone would have told you back then, Kevin, you're going to be in front of 300 people talking about stuff that is so painful, but you're going to be helping, you'd be like, bullshit. And another thing you said is 3 years going 30 minutes. It would be something. And that happened to me. I was out of the hospital for a month and I met a guy with 30 years recovery and I had 30 days. And I remember just saying, man, 30 years. I go, man, that's great. He goes, well, how about you, man? How long you been sober? And I kind of laughed. I went, oh, yeah, 30 days. And he goes, how long? I go, 30 days. And he goes, why'd you laugh? I go, it's only been 30 days, man. He goes, when's the last time you were sober 30 days? And man, it just gut punch. I was like, I couldn't remember. Yeah. And it was like, wow. And he goes, I had to be sober 30 days before 30 years. And,
the wild thing is too, is like, I always thought it was one of those sayings, like, 24 hours is, it helps us more than it helps you or whatever, the saying that it's always in the rooms. And it's like, now when I hear someone else's 24 hours, I'm like, I remember those 24 hours of being the most hardest and the most difficult. And I didn't want to go any further than 24 hours. And then, you make it a day, you make it 2 days, you make it 3 days, and all of a sudden it starts getting better and better. And you're like, man, I'm already at 3 weeks. And then that 30 days hits and you're like, I made it 30 days so I can make it another 30 days, right? But you can't feel in the situation. But, it helps me hear that I may have touched somebody out there and they had their first 30 days, or they know somebody that has this amount of time too. It's like, it's all fuel, we all fuel each other. It's part of the community. It's all we, it's we of the program. And it's true. It's
yeah. And that's one thing, I, just like you, and just like probably most of us on here, I can't speak for everyone, but I've never done podcasts. I have IT. I hate the stuff. I don't understand it. I wing it. a script. No,
Mm.
I just hit live, and then whatever comes out comes out. And
Comes out.
luckily, I've been very blessed with our producer, Matt Cronin's like, dude, don't change, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. And it's stuff, it's, my faith, God above, boy, because if it wasn't for that, it's just, that's what keeps me going. And that's what I use, because I said from day one, I'm not a coach or a counselor. I have no degrees for schooling. I'm one of you, man, and we're in this together. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that we can all. The worst thing that someone could come up to me and say, "Oh man, I know what you're going through. Oh, you dealing with addiction?" Well, no, but I know someone who has. So I know that. Don't tell me you know what we're going
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And like for me and you, even though I'll never physically be able to feel it, we can relate. If you tell me a
100%.
story, I'll be like, Kevin, man, I know what you mean in that way. And you can do the same to me. So we got that bond. And but that's awesome, man. And just seeing all your stuff has just been so positive. And that's why I kept telling OG, I go, we gotta get Kevin on here, man. You could just see your progression. And it's just, first of all, you got me with the gym, and everyone thinks, man, look at man, he's buffing all that, with all the work you're putting in. And just like when I would train people, I go, well, yeah, that's good when you're getting size and people notice you, but I go, you just wait until the inner you gets it, not only the physical, but the emotional part of training, because you did it, So I'm sure you could probably adhere to that.
The best part of it is, it's kind of like my one-on-one therapy. It's headphones in, not listening to anybody. It's just taking out whatever frustration I have, or just getting through it. It's, you can push through something and get a set done. And it's like, man, I feel way better. I feel great. I can only be there for 10 minutes. And also, I'll go in there with an attitude, right? And just upset with the day, or just not feeling right. And 10 minutes in, I'm like, all right, this is actually a lot better. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. And
how many days a week do you train?
I go 3 to 4 times a week. If it's worst case, 2 times. It's rare that I'm only going 2 times a week. I want to try to at least make it a good handful. Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hit the mornings. And then, have a couple rest days, Monday, Wednesday. So I don't go as much as a lot of people do, but if I can go there for 30 minutes to an hour, it's all I need. Get what I need done.
Okay. Donald Blow's got a question.
Sure. Where is he here? Donald, is it this one here?
Yeah.
Donald Blow, you know Donald from the Post, don't you? Donald's from Maine. He's awesome. Do you have your Facebook page? Is it your personal page? Do you have 2 or 1 or what?
Just the one, just the Kevin Herbert, and I basically use that as kind of in between. So it's my main one, and also a little bit of the recovery as well. It's my recovery is kind of just been more of my thing. It's
basically you.
I don't need 2 Facebooks, and I just let it go. Whatever it turns out to be a family day, or it's gonna be a recovery day. I can't manage more than one. I got the Instagram and Facebook. That's too many.
Oh man, that's one thing. Like I said, this stuff drives me nuts. Thank God for Matt in New York, who handles all the production and all that stuff and editing. And like you, I've got my personal page, just Matty Vitale. Then of course my Fight Our War, but I usually just, put everything on my personal page anyways. Just leave it at that, because people that have this and that and all these download it to this. I'm like, what? No, man, let's just so I hear you, but so there you go, Donald. Just go right to Kevin Herbert's page, and you'll find all that good stuff, brother.
Yeah, and then someone with me, it's like, I'll start doing more on one page, and then it's like I'm gonna forget about it, and it's like I said, I got people reaching out asking if I'm okay. So if I'm not posting on one of them, I'll have questions left and right.
Oh man, but I've had that happen too. And that, just like for you, if you don't post something for a day or two and people are like, Kevin, so right there, that shows that what you're doing is making a difference, man. Just your positive words, and just, for people are feeding off you. And
Yeah.
that's what I try to do is get people on here. And because I'm like you, this has never been my fight our war, or it's never been for me. It's never been an I and a me. It's always us and we, kind of like what you said. And for people to get something or anything, man, it just makes it what it's all about. And just see here what we got going on.
Trisha just came on board.
Who did?
Trisha.
And
We
then
got Trisha and Heidi and
Heidi.
Deanna.
Heidi just, I saw something. What happened with Heidi? It said
she fell
just
again.
recouping from another fall. Heidi, what is going on, girl?
Stop jumping out of planes.
Yeah,
girl.
we got Heidi. We got Trisha Gibson here. Everybody, you guys, we got Kevin Herbert, who's been on with us in the past. And
of course, Jackie, the
shenanigator,
half of the shenanigators.
We got half the shenanigators, but Kevin's been on with us before. And I've been hounding him to come back on because just, like all of us and all of you guys with your post, Kevin's on there with his post at the gym. He just celebrated 3 years, got his coin with a lot of personal hardships going on with his life. He, as he said, unfortunately lost his father. And, like we were talking about a second ago is, it's for people dealing with addiction, man. If there's ever, we try to find almost like an excuse to fail, at first, because, recovery is hard. But, for us, the littlest thing, and I'm not saying that losing anyone's little, but it could be, it's a cloudy day. I'm pissed off because of the weather. I'm going to have a drink. But for us, any excuse. But for you and anyone who's lost somebody, you got that vulnerability to make a wrong choice. What would you say to that person, or advice or anything at all, for not only of losing a parent, but if you have that moment where you just are unsure and you think about screw it, what advice would you have for them?
And the thing is like, the triggers don't have to ruin you, right? And it doesn't have to ruin your recovery path. I mean, it definitely can if you allow it to. But what I've kind of built this time around of getting sober is a foundation of people that I can talk to, reach out to. I mean, it's okay to not be okay. We're a group of being vulnerable, and it's going to be tough at times. And these people are going to relate to you, like you said earlier. And, I got my house manager, Jim, I got the owner's guy, and from Aspire, I got Lance, which is basically my go-to guy. That's always there as my staple. But most importantly, I got my sponsor. You got a sponsor. I've never worked with a sponsor before, but I got him. And it's like, he tells me all the time, catch yourself, don't stay there as long. It's spit it out. Someone's bothering me, spit it out. And, if someone going in the situation, it's like, I got a guy. I try to make things in my recovery pretty simple. I text Lance every day. I text my sponsor. I got guys from California. I got Vince that still sends me a gratitude list every morning. That basically gets my day started. And if I got these people reaching out to me, I can reach out to them. So my tough day, I got one of those guys reaching out if I'm not reaching out to them, because it's basically a routine. It's a foundation that I built that I can't run away from my problems. I'm going to have to focus on dealing with it with one of them at some point of the day. So I can't stay there too long. So with my dad passing away, I've had all these people reach out, and they were Jim, my house manager, I stayed with him. He went to the hospital my dad was at. He was there without even asking. And he showed up. That's part of our community. That's what we got to build. And recovery is going to be hard. It's going to have more hard days than you ever imagined, but it's going to be easy. You're going to make it through there because you're going to have an army of people with you. And it makes things so much better, in a hard spot. And if someone would have told me on year one, well, probably year two, actually, because year one, I wasn't ready. Year two, I wasn't ready. Any of the years I wasn't ready until my last time. Right. But if I would have started building the foundation at the beginning, it would have been probably so much easier to handle all the situations I've had dealt with in the last 6 years. Right. And, that's why I built a foundation around me. I got these people that I can stay with, communicate with, talk with, shoot the shit with, play fantasy football with. You know, we all relate to something, and we make it easy. You know, if it's food, if a gym, that's the best part of the program, of working with people as a sober foundation.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome. You know, and the other thing cool about that is uh, just having that accountability, and it's building up self-esteem for yourself, accountability for yourself. Because like you said, you know what, and it can't be all just pressure 24/7 nonstop. You know, we do need that time to be pissed. We need that time to be upset and those weak moments, and it's okay. But I love how you put it, where I have that, but if I don't respond in a certain amount of time, this one's going to kick in with a text. And if that one doesn't work, then so that's good, because you get that little leeway. And you know, and another thing you just mentioned is, with all these people, and you brought up the fantasy football, and you know, just working out all these things, is those are things that I love, man. And it's, some people will say, well, you can't have fun without drinking. You know, hey, buddy.
Someone's got to say hi. Big Viking.
What's your name?
Say Hudson. What's your name?
Hudson.
Hudson. You know that Hudson. He knows you're a Lions fan, so he had to wear his Vikings gear.
Oh, okay. Good man. Good man. How you doing, man? You having a good day, buddy?
You have a good day? Yeah.
You know what? When I was little, even though I'm a Detroit boy, for some reason I always loved the Vikings logo. And I was a little kid. I got the purple satin jacket with the Viking on the left. I had that jacket, and I was Fran Tarkington. That was my man.
My dad loved him.
Oh, you got to, man. That's awesome, man. How's hockey going?
How's hockey?
Good.
Yeah, you having fun?
He sure is. He's ready to go back. He can go back on Thursday.
Lace him up.
Yep. All right, buddy. Do it.
Okay.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, it's always a good surprise, right?
You know what? Just the look on your face before he came on camera, when you looked over, you know, it was like someone flipped a switch. I mean, you just kind of you lit up, like, and then when you're sitting on your lap, you're still glowing now. Right there. You want to talk about all those bad days being worth it? Those 2 minutes right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as much as the hard days, you know, weigh on you, and you want to just throw them back, that's my biggest reason. It's like, I couldn't let him grow up without a dad. And yeah, I'd probably, you know, I'd be a dad. What kind of dad would I be? You know, if I'm too busy drinking all day every day and not showing up and being a part of it, I'm gonna ruin his life. And that's not what I want. You know, I want him to have a great life. And that's him having his dad and his mom, and you know, it's being a family.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. You know, and like I was saying earlier, we we had you on in the past, and we've had a lot of people, you know, that come on, because I always say at the end of our shows, you know, some people, it's like, hey, thanks for having you on. And some people, that's all they want to do is tell their story and then go to the next podcast and just keep going, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I like this as a family. And for me, I always say this is never a one and done. You know, you're part of My Fight or War forever. And, you know, we may not talk for a week, a month, a year, but we're always here and stuff like that, man. And, you know, for you, like I said, it was a no brainer bringing you back, because, you know, with you, man, with your dealing with issues with addiction, how young were you? I can't remember our first with all the different numbers and facts and all that, when you started your nightmare of addiction.
You know, it's mine's kind of you know, we're all different, right? We all started at some point. It's everyone's at a different platform, and they're drinking. Some started when they're 10, 9, you know, as early as Hudson, which is bizarre. You know, I've heard that. I didn't really start until, you know, probably my senior year is when I actually just started having some here and there, right? But where my addiction really kicked off was when I bought the house and I got married, right? And it's weird to think that way. I didn't start my drinking until probably full blown alcoholic until 25. And I grew up because I grew up young, and I always said I wanted more in my life. I wanted a house and I wanted all these things, and that's what's going to make me happy. And, I bought a beautiful home, and I was a manager of a shop, and, I had all these things, and I just never happy. I thought I'd be happy with having all these things and having a bank account and having a home and a wife, and things should have been great, but I was always missing something. And I think when I moved out on my own into a house and I had the things I wanted, that's when I just kind of spiraled. It's like, what's going on here? I should be happy. And I just couldn't find it.
See, I remember now when you said, as soon as you said your senior year, because when we were talking that first time about hockey and sports and stuff like that, because I was the same, hockey saved me. I mean, because I was dedicated 24/7 to hockey. In the summer, I never took summer vacation because I was always going to Canada, Montreal, Toronto for hockey camps. And that's all I did. It's all and for me, that was all the way from 5 years old all the way through high school. And that's where a lot of my friends started, branching off into drugs and alcohol. And mine was the same way. So I now I remember that. But
and we all kind of, addiction comes in all different ways. And the way I healed from trauma, it was skating. I lost my mom when I was very young, and I didn't really grieve much with that because I just went and played hockey. And self-esteem issues, I hated the way I looked, and I still have that issue, but I do it in a healthier way now of being upfront with situations I'm having. It's like, I'm not great in my head. I don't like the way I look and blah, 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 that thing. I can talk about it now. Back then, I would basically just use what my alcohol addiction started was sports. I was addicted to sports. And if I can isolate, I'm isolating on the ice. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm going out there hitting guys, taking on my frustration, scoring goals, getting happy. And that's just the way I coped. And then I had multiple concussions and, it's head injuries. And I think 25 came around and it's like, I don't have an outlet. I got these things. I don't have an outlet. I still hate myself and I don't love myself. And, that's where I had to learn with this process is I had to love myself before I could even come home. I wasn't in a sober house until I figured out how to love myself. And the gifts of the program, it's like I figured it out somewhat. I still struggle with it, but at least I love myself to love my family.
It's crazy too, man. Is like I said, a lot of the things talking about hockey and because I was the same way, man. I just loved going out there and I was a left wing and a center, and but I just love hitting. I mean, I love scoring, but I just elbows flying and just here we were out there, and I remember I got in one shift, let's see, I think it was like 22 minutes in penalties in one shift because I got the double minor for a rough, and then another because of a high stick drawing blood. And then I got a 5-minute for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct, and then a 10-minute major or something like that. So it's like, they're like, just get off the ice. But and then we were talking about it here. What we did, high sticking. I just high stick some dude in the face. 5 minutes. You got a 5-minute penalty. You went and sat in the box, and then a few minutes later, you got out and got him again. It's crazy. Oh,
that's the craziest thing is like, I played rough. That was the outlet, right? And there was a spring league game where my brother was on my team, and it's probably my highlight of my playing career is spring league. And my brother was filling in, and one of the littlest guys got hit, and me and my brother just went after this guy, and next thing we know, it's me and my brother against a whole bench. Fantastic.
It was like a slap shot with the Hanson brothers.
Probably the best times of our lives right there. Just throwing it down, brother and brother, and they started calling us the Bash Brothers. And
See, well, you know all the well with the Bruce brothers with the Hansons, and then the
Yeah.
with Probert and Koser that we had with the Wings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I talk to you about my buddy AJ Galante?
I
With
don't think so.
Well, AJ Galante is a friend of mine. He is in Danbury, Connecticut, and they
Okay.
did a documentary. If you've got
Oh,
Netflix,
is that the Thrashers or something like that?
Danbury
Yes,
Trashers.
That was that's cool. If I was
Yeah.
on, I would love to be on that league.
Oh my God. It was, I've seen it. It was so funny because I saw that Netflix clip like
Yeah.
3 years ago. And I'm
Yeah,
watching this
that's
thing and
something
they're
pretty cool.
showing AJ. And I was like, what a little prick. As they're showing the beginning. And then as they showed the whole thing, I was like, this guy's so freaking cool. So next thing you know, a couple years later, I fly out to Connecticut to be on Ian Bick's show.
Yeah.
I walk in and I see a Danbury Trasher in his studio, a jersey. I'm like, oh my God. I go, I saw a documentary. He goes, oh, with AJ. I go, yeah. He goes, oh, he's a good friend of mine. I'm like, what? Next thing you
That's
know,
wild.
he hooks me and AJ up. We become friends. I end up having him on my show. You know, I just was in where was I with? We
Mount
were
Pleasant?
Mount Pleasant Casino in Mount Pleasant. He does
Yeah.
this thing, War on Ice. They're
Bare
fighting
knuckle
on ice,
ice
bare
wars.
knuckle fighting on ice.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, so here now, me and him are buddies, and just that. Did you see the documentary?
It was 3 years ago, and I don't know the specifics because I'm sure I was drinking at that time pretty heavy.
Oh, watch
I
it again.
remember that.
Watch it
Yeah.
again. They show these two brothers, and it was almost like the Hanson brothers. They're so
Drew
damn funny because they're talking about the dad.
Yeah.
It was all about his dad, Jimmy Galante, who
Okay.
literally the feds got him for. There was a picture in his
things.
office from the guy from The Sopranos because they
Oh,
made
really?
The Sopranos after Jimmy.
The
I mean,
London.
it's insane. Watch it
Huh.
again, and but the hockey part. One of the interviews, the brother goes, not only he goes, oh, to the other team, he goes, oh, not only we're gonna beat you, but we're gonna beat the fuck out of you as well. It was great. You'll appreciate it. You'll
Well,
definitely.
watch it.
It's called Untold Crime and Penalties, I think. But Danbury Trashers, just for Netflix, you'll love it.
Yep.
But,
No, we're not on that again.
oh my God. Yeah, that's like me. It's just like, remember this? No, man, it was what year was this? This was 6 years ago. Oh no, I was shit faced then.
Yep. No,
Man,
I have a hard time even remembering nowadays, even being sober. But back then, don't remember.
No, but
I tend to forget those things mostly.
yeah, but it's just amazing that just the positive change. And the one thing with sports and being able to enjoy it with your son is so huge. Just that's what I mean. I keep going back to your Facebook page and your post because I don't have any kids, man. I love kids. I've got beautiful nieces and nephews. I've always wanted kids. But just seeing you, especially with the son in the locker room, getting him dressed, playing hockey. Oh my God. I tear up when I see that. It's just a beautiful experience being able to enjoy that with him and just seeing your pictures. And, just think 5 years ago, if you had a choice, they said, okay, Kevin, we're going to be at the bar and this, or you know what? Your son's got a hockey game in an hour, or you could stay for happy hour. You know damn well you're staying in the bar. And
it's true.
can you think of that now? I mean, letting your little boy down like that, it's just not even feasible.
When I was in Malibu at the treatment, that's one thing that's kind of ringing in my head. It's like, the abandonment issues of what I grew up with. And I think everything just aligned up there. We do these things that are just, they're not good. And it's an insanity of the addiction. It's like we will go as far as hurting everybody around us, letting everything burn. And when we let those things burn, we will keep on putting gas on it. So we're not the problem yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't think we're the problem. It's everyone else in the situation. And recovery and sobriety and addiction, it's not just about you or me. It's family too. They feel it just as bad and just as much as us. They want to help us and help guide us to where we need to go and what we need to do. But when we're not ready, we're not going to get sober. We're going to keep using. We're going to keep drinking. We're going to keep doing these things that are just insane. And we're going to go until some are going to figure it out quicker than others, or some of us are just going to let it go until there's nowhere to go. It's getting kicked out of your house. It's losing your house. It's losing your marriage. It's losing the kid. It's losing the job. It's losing everything. And that's just a part of the sanity of the addiction. Is we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep digging. And if I could dig, I kept digging. And if it came to a point where I didn't have to dig anymore, I'd dig anyways. And that's just all part of the reality of the addiction. It's all in the mind. And if I was at a bar and I was said I gotta be at a game in an hour, I don't think I'd make it. And that's the terrible part of addiction is we buy the lie. I'll go to the next game.
Yeah, you justify it. And one thing I've been very blessed doing this is not only talking to people in recovery, but a lot of family members who are, like you said, it affects all of the family, and trying to get through to the families, because I'll have some of them will say, well, I just don't get it, Manny. They love us more than addiction. Don't they love us enough? And I go, yes. I go, that's think about that, what you just said. When you ask me how strong addiction is, as much as you love your loved one and you want the best for them, that's how much they love you back. But if given a choice right now between being at a fun at an event with you, at Christmas with you, Easter, holidays, Thanksgiving with you, or getting shit-faced and doing drugs, at that moment of addiction, they will choose that over someone they love so much. That's the power of addiction. And people will look at me, they're like, and then they kind of get it. It's like, that's how, but they still don't get it, because unless you felt it, you never will. But that's how strong it is, man. It's just,
we see the things that we love in our addiction. It's like when I had a relapse when I got back from California, I was sitting there taking a drink of a beer and I'm looking at a picture of Hudson. I'm seeing Hudson in the beer every time I take a sip. And it's like, I know my why. I know what I need to do. I know what I love, and I know why I can't keep doing this. And that's, all the treatments and everything I went through, and, all the tools that was added to my tool belt. And it was like that moment where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I had the guy from California, Justin, he reached out and said, hey, you're not at the sober living. What's going on? Caught me at a good time because I relapsed and I can't get myself back out of this funk. I'm in a full blown bender. And, he just reminded me, he's like, what, remember your why when you came here? I'm like, it's to get my kid back. He's like, well, yes. So get your ass into a sober living and do what you need to do. And that really hit home. And I'm like, I gotta do this for my kid. I gotta do it for myself. I gotta get myself out of this funk. I gotta get my kid back. But we can't have a situation of getting our kid back or getting the house back. We can't have all these. I've heard it before. It's the bees. We go into recovery. We got to get our job back. We got to get our kid back. We got to get our life back. We got to get our money back. We can't go into the whole situation of doing all those things, because if we do those, we're just really going all the way to 100. It's all a big step. We can't have that until we start putting our dues in. We got to make our deposits. We got to do the work. Work takes time, and we can't make a house better overnight. That's a couple times.
So when who was that called you when you were in that bender?
He was kind of like a counselor there at the time, and he's one of us, and he would really put me in my place quick, and that's what I needed. I just needed that hard ass individual just to tell me how it is and shut me down when I started going my own way and trying to take my own control, and he put me in the spot every time.
But he literally called you. I mean, he called you, right? Yeah,
I believe I probably reached out first, and then he called me back, and if I went that way.
It's just at that time. That just goes to show, man, it was at that time. That it was, you were ready, and man, that's just your support group, and the foundation that you're building is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
and the thing is, sometimes I've had people just starting out, they'll be almost embarrassed or ashamed. And I was like, off camera, they'll be like, I feel weak. If I go, no, I go, do
No.
you know how strong that is? That is the
Yeah.
definition of strength and being a man. To build a foundation is not easy,
No.
and, for someone who has never done it, that they're sitting there right now and they're in a Kevin moment where they might be sitting here watching this, drinking a beer, looking at you and hearing your story. And in a moment of clarity saying, wait a minute, I'm having the same thing, but they don't have any foundation. What are the first steps for someone to build that around them?
Get into a meeting, get into something that's recovery. It doesn't have to be a meeting if you're not a meeting maker. I mean, it can be as easy as going to a recovery event somewhere. They're all over. I mean, someone has a walk. And, if it's someone that's not into a program, just make it somebody. Build a foundation of someone that's going to hold you accountable. And it's just make a call to one person. It could be a person that that doesn't really drink or use drugs. I mean, go to church. I mean, there's many, many places that you can meet somebody, build a foundation with. It could be a softball buddy. I mean, there's recovery things out there. And going to a recovery page. The recovery page is out there everywhere. It's your page. We fight with more. It's sober today. It's sober motivation. Reach out on somebody on there. If you don't have any in your community is small, I mean, it could be the guy at the gas station. It could be anybody. Sober time under their belt. If they're not an everyday drinker and they're maybe once a month, that's a better foundation than having no foundation.
Exactly. And, that's what it is. There's no set way. That's what makes it so cool is it's not a one way fixes everything. You do it yourself and you work whatever is best for you. Sometimes, overkill is exactly what someone needs because they're spinning out of control. Others may need just one. And that, like you just said, and like I always say all the time, it takes one person to change the world. One person and we're one hello away from meeting your new best friend. Walking down the street in my past, I'd walk down the street if we're walking into a bar, I'd be snarling at you. I was like, what the fuck are you looking at? And the guy might just be walking by me, but I'm just looking for a fight, looking for the worst of the worst. Instead of, now anywhere I'm at, I'm holding open doors and hey, how you doing? Have a good day. And next thing you know, I've just a simple hello going into a boucher to get a sub at lunchtime. Next thing you know, I've had like a half-hour conversation with somebody that, hey, how you doing? Hey, I noticed you're working at Harley. Oh, well, also, I have this page. Well, I've been sober for 10 years now. And next thing you know, someone walks by as a friend of theirs and you're that one hello away.
There's more people out there that are sober than you actually know. Somebody has someone in addiction, someone is sober themselves, someone knows somebody that's sober, and they can link you to that person as a foundation. But the best thing at the end of the day was me get into a treatment, meeting people, getting into the sober house, believing in myself over my fear. It's going into sober living it's not the weakest moment that people are going to think it is. People are thinking that someone that goes to sober living is like, why would you do that? You're ruining all the fun. No, that's where I found fun. That's how I started building that foundation. That's where fun started. That's where barbecues happen. And fear will really cripple somebody if you let it happen. And we can't let that happen. I just look at it as a perspective. My fear is now my strength. I'm afraid of it. If I'm afraid of it, I'm going to do it.
I'm coming after you.
My fear will tell me to do something that I should be doing. And if I'm afraid to do that sober living, I'm going to do it. If I'm afraid to go in that door at a meeting, I'm going to do it. And get out of the comfort zone. The comfort zone will kill people, unfortunately.
No, it's so well, man. And just like I like to say too, you get this collection of sayings, and mine is addiction is only a word. It's not a death sentence. We're all living proof of that. And there was another one on here. It was either Trisha or someone, you said something. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And some of these, and getting out of that comfort zone, and and just fighting these battles head on. And like for me, I remember when with my situation, they basically said I was going to be dead in 6 weeks because of my organs all shut down. And and then by the grace of God, here I am. But they said to me, don't even look at a bottle. You'll die. I mean, they're being over dramatic, kidding, obviously, but well, not really. But I remember people said, were you afraid when they told you you're going to be dead? Did you cry? And I said, no. I said, the only time I was truly afraid is when they said I was going to live. Because I was like, well, how I can't go to a party and not drink. I can't go to a baseball game, hockey game, football game and not drink. I can't go to the bar. I remember freaking out, thinking I'm just going to go home, sit in the basement and be a troll. There's no way I can have fun. Man, I tell you what, going to the casino, jumping on my Harley, going to the bars. And, I'm very blessed and lucky that because there are people that cannot be in situations where they can even like walk into a bar or be around certain people, individuals, or hear certain music or certain places. And I'm very, very lucky because I could pretty much do everything without any of those triggers. So I'm blessed. But you have those people that they're like, well, I can't go to the bar now. Well, don't go, man. I mean, if if you feel that strong that I can't do it, don't, because I had a guy say, well, I'm going to try. No, don't be testing yourself that way. But they said, well, what about like going to play? I love playing softball. Go have a nice tea. That's what I do. My Arnold Palmer. Anywhere I go now, the casino, I have an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I have such a good time. It's just we can have fun
doing those things and just go with a plan. Like I said earlier, it's like our triggers don't need to ruin us. Just don't hang out at that barbershop too long if you're going to try to go to that bar and hang out with family or whatnot. It's it's not a good spot. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. If you're going to go to it, just go to the restaurant side of it. Experience that side. It's probably much better anyways. But like the casino situations, like I hit the casino, and that's kind of like some of our fun. It's like go hit the casino for a little bit, and I just posted like on Saturday. It's like I won a plane stay package at the Treasure Island here through the Twins. Well, I went there again and spun the wheel, and I won $300. Now, will I ever go to waste? No, I'm going to go there. I'm going to use it. It's free money, and I'm not betting my own money. So go ahead. And that's just what it's all about. That's why you got these people in your life.
Exactly.
The foundation to hold you accountable. I'm going to come home sober. I'm going to have the pictures all over my Facebook, and that's the things I'm going to be grateful for,
Yeah. And you're going to remember it.
I'm going to remember it exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that always bugged me too is like, people, how can you take these pictures and do this all the time and put yourself out there? It's like, I came from a place that was dark. I had cops knocking on my door for welfare checks. I was isolated with beer all around me where I don't want pictures taken. I was a monster in my own eyes. I hated myself. Don't want my kid to see me. So now I got a genuine smile. I'm happy and I'm having a good time. That's the way life's got to be. Having fun with the circumstances.
Yes. And it's so funny about that. That's, as we're talking now, a lot of this is coming back from our first conversation. A lot of the similarities. And I guess Susie dog hair in my eye. But one of them was what you just said too about the pictures and the smiling, because I take a shit ton, same as you. And I remember when I started my Fight Our War and all that, taking all of these. And I remember someone, I was getting all these posts from this one picture, and people were saying, "Oh, you have such a nice smile," which I replied, "Fuck you." and they're like, "What?" I go, "Wait a minute, you're messing with me, right?" And they're like, "No, we gave you a compliment." And I was like, "Oh, I've never been told that before." And then my other buddy said, "It's because you never smiled. You were always grumpy and angry at the world, and you're always frowning and growling and you were never happy, so you were never smiling." And I was sitting back now and thinking about it, is what you just said, is because I was miserable, and that's what people were used to seeing. That was me 24/7. I was just this flat affect, no emotion. And now, like you said, man, at the gym smiling, at church smiling.
Well, remember the guys at work even said somebody said that when you first started, they thought you were mean or
Oh
something.
yeah, the guy goes, oh, so about what did you think, man? He was a nice. What I can't remember
Something
what.
about nice
They go,
guy,
no,
yeah.
man, we never thought he was a nice guy. And I was like, what? But that is so cool, man. And you're so right with like the way you put that is your pictures. It's like a badge of honor, man. You know, going from where you were to where you are. And I mean, again, back to picking up Hudson. When you looked off screen, I thought it was either your son or a dog or like a puppy or something, because that's that. Oh, come here. And when you picked him up, you were just glowing, man.
Yeah, I was excited to see him. I told him to put some Vikings stuff on just to kind of just rub it in a little bit.
Yeah.
He came head to toe. He had the hat, the whole 9 yards, even the bracelet on him. Like he went all in.
Like, I got you, Dad.
Yep. That's the fun part of it. You know, we can have these situations, we can laugh, we can have a good time about it, and it's like, you know, if I was still in the situation, that alone, I probably wouldn't even be alive. I don't know. Would this ever be what it is today? You know, would I be around with him? Would I be doing the things? Would I even be smiling about situations about him playing hockey? No, I probably wouldn't be there. I'd be sad at my apartment or wherever I was living, streets, you know, whatever circumstances that would have led into. And I would have been more miserable than I ever was. And these are the situations that people need to see is like, you're going to come out, your first 24 hours, your first hour is going to be very scary. You're not going to want to go into a treatment. You're not going to want to do those things that people are going to tell you to do. But if you can use their guidance as the roadmap, that's going to get you through all those situations that you think you're not going to make it through. Because him having me in his life and being happy and doing the things I want to do with him, you know, I'm fantastic today. Day 2, day 3. First week, maybe month, I didn't think I was going to make it through it, but here I am, you know, 3 years sober. It's like, if you got to use those roadmaps, use those people to lean on. People been through it, listen to them. They've been through it. They felt it. They know how it is. They're not going to guide you the wrong way. And if you have questions, what one person says, ask somebody else. Guarantee it's going to be almost identical to what that first person said. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. That's the wonderful thing about our recovery world is there's so many options, and you know, if one doesn't work, there's another one. You know, there you will never ever fail unless you quit or give up. You know, you'll stumble, you'll trip, yes, you know, but you know, other than that, it's such a blessing. And you know, you said, where are you staying right now? Where are you living right now?
I'm back in my house. The house that I lost. It's back in my. You know,
you got it back.
Yep, it's back, and I'm happy. It's, you know, did I ever think I'd want to come back to the house that I lost? Back to the house I was drinking in the garage all the time? And no, I didn't at first, but now I'm stronger than I was at another part of my life. I can handle these situations, and I don't hang out in the garage like I used to. That was my spot because I was hiding, and that was my full-time job, hiding from drinking from the wife. And I'm much stronger today. I can handle these situations. I love having the house and the family under one roof. That's what it's all about. That's what we work for. That's the baby steps in the recovery. It's not doing it all under one night. It's, like I said, you're not fixing the house in one night. You've had 10 years of destroying it. Things don't repair themselves that quick.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true.
Don't be lazy in the recovery. It's just put the work in.
Definitely, man. Well, I tell you what, Kevin, you know, we're definitely going to stay in touch, especially with Hudson's hockey. Yeah, I'd love to, you know, keep seeing the pictures and his progression.
Thursday,
because
last night.
well, seeing him and seeing you, it's like seeing you both. just grow this beautiful relationship. It is so cool to see, man. I'm just so damn happy for you guys. Not just you, but your family. I mean, your son. I mean, sitting on your lap, is happy to be sitting with you as you are sitting with him. It's just so great. And and just really, really appreciate you taking the time to, shoot the shit a little bit. And we'll if you got something going on, I know I reached out to you to come on out, to come on again, but if you've got anything with coming up next week, next month, whenever you got something that pops up with Hudson, I mean, I have no problem jumping on for an hour and 5 minutes or jumping on for 15 minutes, to celebrate something, have some fun.
There we go.
Let's do it.
Maybe we'll do like a live stream. I'll put this in the center ice and we'll just skate with them.
Hey,
yeah,
I'm in, man. We could do a live from the rink. Hey, you know what? If you want to do it, I'm in. So let's we'll talk about it. But
there you go.
Again, before we go, man, just really want to just a shout out to you and your accomplishments for all you've done, your hard work. It's not easy. We are part of a elite fraternity. We are all heroes here, and it's just an honor to be part of this family with you. And thank you.
I'm happy to be part of it as well. It's another step of accountability. It's more people in my corner, and we all got each other. It's what we have to do is stay in contact, and one person doesn't. Well, I got this whole community now.
Yes, you do, and we're here for you, and I know that you're here for us too. So you take care. You have a great night, and tell Hudson it was great seeing him. And you brought back that neat memory of my satin jacket with Fran Tarkington. So,
that was a nice one.
Yes, but really, man, I appreciate you, and best of luck. And we will be talking to you soon.
Go Lions!
Thank you, brother. We'll talk.
Yep.
You take care. Bye bye now.
Night now.
Bye.
What just a
Boy,
good,
beautiful.
Hudson's a stud.
God.
Well, hockey player. All hockey players are studs.
Of course. True.
Oh, look at me and Kevin.
There you go.
Okay, look at Hudson. Yeah, but just that was so cool. Just when he looked off screen and he did the look and then a look again, just the smirk and the grin on his face. Like I said, it was either going to be his kid or his dog. Or
either one is unconditional love. So there you go.
You could see that smile. And that was cool. And like I said, Kevin is just a good dude. I don't know him except for this. This is the second time we've talked. But there's just something about him, and just good guy. All of us. I saw we've had some people on here. I see Cousin Tony. How you doing, Cousin Tony? Tyler's sending pictures. What are you sending pictures of, Tyler?
His his girlfriend's son. He's taking his 11-year-old son to the gym.
All right.
So he's going to send me some pictures.
That's cool. I'm working with him in boxing. It's going to be good. I tell you, that's awesome, man.
It starts that discipline now. That's fabulous.
Congratulations, Tyler. That's great. 11 years old, man.
Then the discipline is just normal. It's not something you got to learn. It just becomes part of him. Yeah,
and the thing is, some people might take that the wrong way when they hear discipline as something negative, and no, man, it's something positive. It's putting different things in our lives that we need. Heidi, not sure exactly what happened except for another tumble. I hope
oh my God.
Hope you're okay. Send us a message. So if you want to let us know what's going on, but we're definitely thinking about you. You know that. Trisha Gibson, we're always thinking of you, Trisha. Thank you for popping out of Vincent. Molly.
Yeah, I don't know Molly.
Molly. There she is.
Yeah.
Molly, welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Trisha
nice
Gibson. Good morning.
She didn't say anything, but Terry was on.
Terry,
She just put a heart on somebody's message. and I took a look to see who put the heart on, and it was Terry. All right,
Terry
Terry.
is
She's
just
not
awesome.
talking, but she's still around.
I
I
tell
love it.
you, yeah, Terry
But she sends us so many good
yeah, she
words of wisdom.
Terry's awesome, man.
Yeah,
We
she-
miss you, Terry. Hope everything's okay. Deanna made it. Deanna
Mhm.
actually was on earlier, and here it is. I'm going to get to see a little bit of it before the
Yeah.
game because her daughter is going to win tonight. Her daughter's got a basketball game, and
All right,
she's
all
going
right.
to do amazing because we have to find out who or what her daughter's name is, what the team's name is, and we got to give a shout out to
So, Deanna,
Deanna's.
if you're still on,
I have a feeling she's probably at
she's
the
probably
game
at
by
the game
now.
by now,
But
okay.
Deanna, if you watch this when you get back, let us know your if you would like your daughter's
If you're
name
willing,
and the
yep.
school and the team name, so we could give a shout out to your beautiful little daughter.
Yeah.
And let's see,
Let's see, you
Donald Blow. I've
Oh,
returned to
okay.
Earth.
Well, because
You
you
know
had
what?
s-
I could just take that in so many ways right now. Oh, wait a
No,
minute.
when you
Hold
said-
on, people. I have a message.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
for OG.
Yes.
There. This is
He's learning
I'm
sign
learning
language.
sign language.
It's getting dangerous. He's learning,
So
and
for
it's never
OG,
good stuff because this means I love you in sign language. That's the first thing I knew, and that's the best thing I know. But now, with what's his name again? The comedian.
no, there's a comedian from where's he from? Australia.
Australia.
Wait a minute, hold on, my mic's falling apart.
Jim
Jim Jeffries.
Jeffries.
If you guys like comedy and a comedy that's very, very, very edgy,
Yeah.
very. If you like the C
He
word,
swears a lot.
he swears a lot, kind of like I do. But he uses the C word like I use the F word.
Oh yeah.
And
But they do in Australia and England. They say that all the time. Like you say
Sorry.
good morning, they say C.
You in Texas. And but they he was talking about his show and how they will have there's a group of 8 or so people that come to the show. If they do and they're deaf, they have a certain area where they have to sit, and then in the corner of the stage they have a person who is using sign language, which he said absolutely is horrible for everybody, including the deaf people, because they're having a terrible time. And this is as him speaking, because he said when they're watching him at home, they're reading his lips. They have the closed caption, so they're getting the full effect. When they're at the concert, he's telling a joke, and then they're looking at her where there's no comedic timing. There's no the follow through, the chuckles, the laughs, and all that, and whatever it is. But then he said, and then all this, every time I swear, people immediately go like this because they want to look over to the person doing the sign language to see what sign is that swear word. I've learned some good ones. I've learned vagina. I've learned the
That's not a
CU in
swear word.
Texas one.
Well,
I've learned penis and a few others.
BS.
And let's see.
BS.
Oh yeah, bullshit. And a few others. And it was verified.
Yes.
My sign language was verified by my cousin's wife, Laura, in Arizona, who
Works with deaf
who
people.
replied, I work with deaf people. And yes, you are correct. I was like, oh,
Those words actually,
oh
those
man.
hand gestures do
So,
mean whatever.
I
so-
didn't
No,
verbally say these words. So I'm not sure what Facebook is going to come at me for. Not
I
these
don't think
days.
they will.
But I'm just, if they have a problem with me, they're a bunch of,
Okay.
or
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying.
yeah, I think you bunch up. Okay, but back to Kevin, man. Kevin Herbert, if you guys get a chance, please go check out his page.
Mhm.
It was, just it was great talking with him. Again, I had a couple of people that saw him on and saw the promo that I put, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Well, how do you know him?" I go through here. He was a guest on the show before. They're like, oh, well, how have you guys met? Or I go, no, just through here, but it doesn't matter because I don't know physically have met pretty much 99% of the people.
Yeah.
And
But we
but it's
feel like we
okay.
know you.
Yeah, but it's okay. But yeah, but Kevin was amazing. Looking forward to staying in contact, especially with keeping track with
Hudson.
Hudson and seeing his progression.
That's hockey.
But as I remembered as soon as we started talking that there was a lot of similarities in our stories about drinking. Like he said, man, there's kids that are 7 years old that are shooting up. It sounds ridiculous to say. It's true.
It happens.
There's people 7, 8, 9 years old doing meth. I mean, and for me, I was the same way. I remember when I did my first show with Ian, and Sober is Cool and all of them. I remember saying, well, yeah, man, I didn't start really anything until junior, senior year, just drinking.
Just hanging out with the older guys.
Just having a few drinks.
And,
That was it. Mine, as I said to David Donna, I took baby steps on my road to addiction. And but then after that, I went to the deep end and jumped right in. But so yeah.
But you're here to tell the tale.
We're all here.
Everybody here on this page.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that aren't here that we've all lost. And for me, I feel it's my responsibility to keep talking and to keep bringing up their names. That's why I'll talk about my best friend, my brother Jerry. That's why I'll talk about my little brother Kevin. And Kevin, you must be really looking over me right the last month or so, because there's a very special song, and it's called Outskirts of Heaven, and it is the most beautiful song. I was on my Harley about a month or so ago, and that song came on, and the tears started flowing, man. And that's my little brother Kevin Prince. And he loved the woods and he loved God, and they were both his happy place. Being out in the woods, that was church. Being in church, that was his happy place as well. And hearing the verses, first time I ever heard it was at his funeral. And that's because Rick and Nancy, mom and dad, I don't know if someone told them about it or if they heard it, but I heard that song, and man, and it's one of those where I really haven't heard it a lot, but in the last month I've heard it like 3 times. And so Kevin, I love you, and you will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
Jerry, you're my brother.
Jerry's.
And Jerry
God
stories,
bless Jerry.
the Jerry stories will never end. Everything from Jerry pooping his sweats to being zipped up into a sleeping bag and us using rose clippers to snip the tag off. Oh my God.
Going the wrong way when you give them directions.
Oh, it was just Jerry. Like I said, we would call Jerry Schleprock. That cloud, just follow him. And
like in the Peanuts gang.
But anyways, it's been an hour and 18 minutes, guys. And
football game's going to start shortly.
I have to get ready. Monday Night Football. We've got the Detroit Lions getting ready. So you guys have a great night. We will be jumping on live again soon.
Who knows when?
So maybe. Until then, have a great, great night. Love you guys and keep fighting a good fight.